Hello everyone, my name is Tomáš Dopita and I would like to briefly introduce my article I published in New Perspectives a few months ago. This paper is about the war in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but also about the presence in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and it's provoked by a question: how come that the international intervention in Dayton, which was established in Dayton, is still not concluded, and what can we do to finish this process? I argue that it's useful to answer this question by following relational constellations between the main political collective subjects involved in the Bosnian politics, and also by inquiring into the encounters between these subjects. In this paper I introduce three such constellations and I look for the encounters between them. I developed this framework by reading and rereading two important books which are very influential in the area of post-structuralist research into international security. It's David Campbell's National Reconstruction and Lene Hansen's Security as Practice, which were both written about the war in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I agree with many arguments formulated in these books, but at the same time I disagree with many things introduced in these books, and I suggest that we need to correct these books in order to be able to answer the question how to finish the international intervention in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Here I would like to point out three such issues. Firstly, by drawing exclusively on the sources, on the English written sources about the international or Western subject, Campbell and Hansen are not able to identify the actual key subjects which have been involved in the politics of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So, in outcome, they treat Bosnians and Bosniaks and Bosnian Muslims as nearly identical categories. But I argue there are big differences between these categories, and we need to take them into account, these differences. Secondly, the empirical detachment from the local subjects actually prevents Campbell and Hansen from seeing that the international or Western subject was actually directly involved in the outbreak of the war. It did not only, the representatives of the international subject have not it wasn't just that they have only responded to it, they were directly involved from the very beginning. And thirdly, what is also important, Campbell and Hansen are not able to recognize that the Bosnian Muslims have actually changed radically their understanding, and they transformed themselves and renamed themselves into Bosniaks, and this is a very important feature which we need to understand if we are to think effectively about the current political situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So the main message I would like to put through in this paper is that in order to conclude the international intervention in Bosnia and Herzegovina, we should avoid using difference-blind and liberally biased policies, because there are certain salient cultural and political differences which needs to be recognized in their specificity. And this is exactly what the international community failed to do at the beginning of the war, and then in certain other moments during the intervention. And this is exactly what Campbell and Hansen are not able to show us or to see in to show us in their books. So my argument is that currently in Bosnia and Herzegovina we should try to meaningfully combine the existing political differences without fearing to situate them in their respective contexts. Thank you very much, and you can send me your comments to my email.